So I have borderline personality disorder, which is when you are emotionally handicapped. You're overly sensitive and you're overly emotional. You receive things different than an average person. Like a person could come and criticize you or say anything to you, then you just be so dramatic about it. Like that was me. That's still me. I'm like, y'all know I'm overly dramatic. I'm overly, because I'm overly emotional and I'm overly sensitive. Because I deal with abandonment. Like as you grow up with a kid, you learn life as you grow up. And depending on the environment that you are in is how you would turn, it would turn out. Like for me, I did not know how to handle my emotions. Nobody taught me that. I didn't know how to speak my feelings because I was never asked how I feel or what's my side of the story. Because, I was the black sheep. So whatever everybody else said, that they was right. I was never asked the side of my story. But anyway, here and there. So anyway, I'm overly emotional. And some people will look at borderline as we are crazy. And we're not crazy. We are just overly emotional. We take things to heart. It pierces our heart. It pierces our emotions because we've been abandoned and pushed aside since we was a kid. When we get older, as we get older, it's worse. If you don't do the right things to heal from it. So when my kids tell me that when they was younger, they was in survival mode, I understood because I was dealing with mental illness and didn't know it. Like my emotions was like a snow globe. You shake the snow globe and it be all over the place. You never know what you're gonna get. Either way it go. And alcohol didn't really make it better, but that's how I self-medicated myself. Because I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. Because when you deal with your emotions, you have to feel them. And I didn't know how to feel my emotions. I knew how to self-medicate my emotions. So when my healing process, I had to feel emotions. And I didn't know how to do that. In order for me to heal, I had to have all that surface up and feel it so it could heal. It's like a bruise or it's like a cut in your leg. You got a cut in your leg and let's say it get infected or it get infected and you just cover it up, but then it get infected. What you gotta do? For it to completely heal, you got to reopen that wound and clean it up, put antibacterial on it, put what you got on it, and so it could heal. So being that, dealing with emotions, you have to let them emotions, all that hurt as you growing up, all that pain has to resurface because it done got infected. That's why resentment come in, mirroring come in because you don't know who you are. Fear of abandonment, fear of rejection. Like, you have all this infection going on inside of you. It surfaces and you react to anger and resentment. And that's what I did because I didn't heal. It got infected and I did not put the medicine on it, or I didn't let it come up. I just dealt with it with alcohol because I didn't want to feel the emotions because it's painful. But so when you are emotionally unstable, you do things to avoid that emotion. You know, like I was promiscuous, I was an alcoholic, I did drugs. You know, I did what I did so I wouldn't have to deal with my emotions. I didn't want to deal with it. So you do anything that you have to do to distract, to have a distraction so you won't have to deal with all that pain that you deal with. And that's where you come and you self-harm. Because instead of dealing with that pain, you go and you self-harm yourself, or you self-sabotage relationships, because when the relationships come and you feel like you're about to lose them, then you become obsessive, you become irrational, you know, you are overly emotional, overly sensitive, because it goes back to when you was neglected, or when you like black sheep looked over. And every relationship that a borderline personality disorder in, for me, every relationship that I was in, and it was I felt a detachment. I always went back to that place where I started off getting hurt. That 12-year-old little girl, and I did that for years. So, and that's because that little girl, or that little girl inside me hadn't healed. She was still in there. She hadn't healed. So I would, do dangerous things, because hurtful things, because I wanted to avoid that hurt, that pain, because I didn't want to deal with it. But to say this, when you dealing with a personality disorder like that, you have to deal with the pain. You gotta deal with the pain. I had to deal with. I had to talk to therapists, and I had God. So I dealt with. I went to NA and AA, and that helped me out. But you have to get some kind of therapy so you can talk about those emotions that you keep hiding from, or you keep them in a box. Some way, somehow, them emotions got to come up so it can heal. And you have to feel them emotions. And I've had to feel emotions. I've had to feel a lot of hurt. I had to feel it. All these emotions that I've caused myself since I was 12 years old, I had to feel them so it would heal. And that's what it's painful. You have to deal with them. But this is LaPaula Burgess, and I have borderline personality disorder. And I'm healed. I'm healed. And that's what I'm on here for. To help hurting people that does not know how to heal from childhood pain. Love you.